I'm giving everybody the next 30, 40 seconds. I need you to get in the room. I need you to get on, tag somebody, tag a guitar player you know. Let them know that G3 is on. We're interviewing Kerry Too Smooth today. You do not want to miss this interview. If you do, you can always watch the replay. But we are interviewing Kerry Too Smooth Marshall. I'm glad to have him as a special guest. We're getting ready to count down 2 minutes and counting, and you guys' mind is going to be blown today. I promised you we were coming with great information, some good vibes, and some of the best in the guitar recording industry and producers. We'll go down the litany of who he is, what he's been involved in. But let's go ahead. We got a few seconds. So let's start the countdown. Let's make it happen. What up, everybody? It's your boy, DL, aka the Church Guitarist. And today I'm absolutely excited to bring on our second interview. He said yes right away. He's a very busy person. We do not want to waste his time. Ladies and gentlemen, can I bring him in the room now? Everybody be Kerry Too Smooth Marshall. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm great. And Blake, thanks for having me, man. Seriously.
It's my pleasure, man, for real. Like, you are to me, I've been watching you, I would say, man, maybe more than 10 years.
Wow.
Like when you started putting out some of your first videos, I was just like, what is this guy playing? And I was like, nah, I'm not going to play the guitar. Because it was so precise, it was so smooth. But then I started watching you down the years. You started breaking your stuff down. I was like, oh, yeah, man, I think I'm going to get involved in that. But we're happy to have you, bro.
Glad to be here, man. Glad to be here.
So give us a brief synopsis. Who is Kerry Too Smooth Marshall? How long have you been in the industry? Let's talk about some people you were on tour with. You take it away from here.
All right. So, I mean, Kerry Too Smooth, man, honestly, is just a humble guy from Birmingham, Alabama that's had the opportunity to play for a lot of artists. Some of the artists I played for is Jason Derulo, Lettucey, Tori Kelly, Kiana Lede, Chrisette Michelle, Tyrese. I've worked with the Black Eyed Peas. I've done a lot of great things. Honestly, just a guy who wanted it like everybody else, but just was blessed with the opportunities. I mean, there was nobody but God who really gave me the opportunities to be in a lot of the rooms that I was in. It wasn't just talent alone. It was just favor. So I'm just super grateful and blessed for this opportunity.
Man, bro, you did the single for, who's that, Jacquees?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Factor Fiction. Yep.
The guitar is masterful. Like, I wanted to play that clip. I wanted to play that clip. And I'm going to be honest. Because of, he's being the king of R&B, because of that whole joint went viral, I really wanted to hate on it. Then I heard the joint, and I was like, but Kerry's killing. Like, so I got to get it.
Yeah, definitely, man. That was like a blessing and how it all worked out. Like, I co-produced that with Troy Taylor. We had done matter of fact, Troy and I met like years ago with another artist I was playing with, Kevin Ross, and we just exchanged information. And that's how, like, you never know how things come around full circle. And he was like, yo, I'm working on this record. We need that R&B touch. And I was like, yo, just say less. So we got it. So we worked on this.
Right.
And we happened to get the placement. So I was really grateful for that.
Yeah, man. So in your estimation, why did you end up playing guitar? Why weren't you a drummer or a bass player? Or
I mean, growing up in church, everybody's a drummer. I just wasn't that good. So, like, and then, like, as my church was, you just had to go to the next available instrument. So bass was the first actual instrument. It was cool, but I didn't want to play bass. In my heart of hearts, I've always wanted to play guitar. So once a guitar player, I think he was in high school, transition, I was like, it's open. Let me jump on it. And so, yeah, I started out, man. I'm talking about when I say raw was like not good to the point that the organ player would be like, yo, And my amp would be off. He'd be like, "Yo, you too loud." And my amp was off.
Been
I'm like,
there.
"Bro, I'm not even playing." He's like, "You too loud, bro." Like that's how bad I was. It was that bad for real.
Bro,
I just
I've
kept
been
at
there.
it.
If I tell people the story, I did one tour with Fred Hammond. We did like 3 dates,
Yeah.
and I was so terrible. It was bad. I'm glad they don't have footage of it. I know him and his brother Ray remember it. It was so bad, but the experience was incredible.
Right.
So it made me come home and grind.
Yeah.
Like I started putting my fingers to work and trying to get as many scales and notes that I could down, man, and memorizing my neck. But that could be
Definitely.
like really scary for newbies. Well, you and I are from the church world. You know, in the
Right.
church, we break musicians
Oh
all the
yeah,
time.
definitely. That's why I said church was the best thing for me as a musician because it really helped me cut my teeth. So when I got to the industry, I wasn't intimidated. Like when they be like, put me on the spot, play this or solo, I'm like, bro, this is church. It's too easy for
Right.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I do every Sunday.
Right.
So yeah, man, that whole vibe, people don't really understand when people are trained orally or they know theory, they're
Right.
much different musicians than the guys that are from church. Church
Right.
guy may not tell you what a C minor nine is or something like that, but when he plays it, you can feel it.
And it's so much feeling. That's what I love about being a church player. I was just talking to Sean Hinton the other day, who plays for Jill Scott, who's played for Erica Badu, who's played for John Legend. He's out currently with Mary J. Blige. And one of the things I loved about his playing, he gives me that quartet feel. And like he's got that soulful, like you can't, I mean, guys, like you said, guys that went to Berkeley they can't give you that. Like some can, but like a lot of guys that know that theory, they're missing that part. And
Yes,
that's the
sir.
very essence of like, especially when it comes to R&B and stuff like that. You want to be able to feel that music. You want to make that connection,
That's why I think Jubu is like one of the church guys' go
bro,
tos because he can pick up anybody's guitar, man.
and go to
And
work.
then you go, well, why didn't it sound like that when it was in my hands?
Exactly.
But he's got that feel, man, got that flavor.
Yep, definitely.
Who would you say was probably the biggest artist you played for?
Biggest worldwide, I would say Jason Derulo because he's the most internationally known artist, and he's the one that like literally when he said, I think he's got a lyric in the song talking about stamps in your passport. Like literally, I've got so many stamps in my passport because of that
Wow.
guy. Um, so I would say Jason Derulo is probably the biggest artist. Him and outside of the Black Eyed Peas, I didn't work with the Black Eyed Peas for very long. I did a lot of they were doing like it's like some shows, especially in LA and like around that area, like a whole bunch of benefit concerts. So I was out with them for a while with doing that. But the main artist that I was out with for the longest, I would say Derulo. He's the biggest star.
Cool. I don't want to get you in trouble with anybody, so I hope none of those people are going to catch this in a year or so. But is there like an artist that allowed you to stretch and kind of add to the tour set
I would say
as it
Kiana
goes on?
Lede, the last one I was working with, Kiana let me play.
Okay.
Like I mean, she let me go. She let me go for blood. Like, we did, a cover in the song was like Weak by SWV. And if you
Right.
like listen back some of the playback, like I'm playing, like you like, because I can hear people in the crowd be like, "Ooh, that guy is playing." Like most artists, like they don't keep you in a box, but you have structure. You can't
Okay.
really step out too much because it's not about you. But there were moments in the show, Kiana be like, "Give him that work." You know what I'm saying? So I would say Kiana Lede definitely let me stretch out.
Cool beans. Give us like a crazy tour story. Something that happened with you and your acts. Do you have any offhand?
I would say that even the first show with Derulo, like the first show with Derulo, I had never done a pop gig. I'm straight church. I've done some R&B. I did some Southern Soul. I was on the Chitlin circuit before I moved to LA. So I did everything with that. So a pop gig, even though I've seen it, I've never physically done it.
Okay.
So when we get to the stage, I'm on a riser and the riser is like super high in the sky. And I'm like, if I fall off this thing, it's game over. Like, so they had like, I had never seen like the glow tape on the ground, like, don't go past this line because if you do,
Right.
there's nothing else on the stage that's gonna catch you. So just seeing that and then the pyrotechnics and just seeing the dancers jump everywhere, I would probably say that was a crazy experience. Like I find myself like when I was doing the first show with Derulo, I found myself looking at the show versus playing. Sometimes I had to have the MD in my ears, like, "Yo, play, man, you got to play." And I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah." So it's just like getting caught up into that moment and just seeing like what that was versus just like playing the show. I think that was probably the most overwhelming thing because I had never been on the stage like that. Seeing pyrotechnics, seeing dancers
Wow.
flip all over the place, seeing smoke, seeing people cheer like that. The first crowd I played with Derulo was like 150,000 people. I had never seen nothing like that before in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that's incredible. I think the biggest show we played so far was because I played for Club Nouveau, and we did like Earth Day in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
It's probably like 10,000 people
And
there, and I
still,
was
it's like it's
blown.
crazy though. Yeah.
Yeah, I was blown. But 100,000 people, high risers, man, I wouldn't. That almost like Michael Jackson type of.
Yeah. That's why I say that, like, the thing about Derulo, because he's such an international pop star, when you were playing in a lot of these different countries, like the first show I had with him was in Morocco. And I would have never thought that like a kid from Birmingham could go to Morocco. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
I'm in
sir.
Morocco. My first show was in front of 150,000 people. And I'm just like a wave of people and they're cheering. It's just like, what? I had to take it in, but like I had to
Yes, sir.
remember, like, oh, you still got to play, bro. You still got to,
Absolutely.
you know what I
Music
mean?
can cause you to see the world
Yeah, definitely.
in a
Seriously.
real sense. So, what's your favorite guitar? You've been playing for X amount of years.
Yeah.
Have you found your guitar, or what's the deal with that?
It's tough when people ask me that question. It's really hard for me to like narrow in on one guitar. I would say now, this one that PRS just sent me, like it's the hollow body 2 piezo. I'm not really using the piezo system, but I like these pickups. It's like the 5915s, I would say. But I really love an HSS like setup configuration. I feel like that is the guitar that allows me to play the way that I want to play because I love strats. Like if you're, especially if you're a quartet player or you played in church, like Jonathan Dubose made that legendary. Rick Wofford made that legendary to have a strat sound. But I know when it's time for me to solo, sometimes like strats are really thin because of that single coil. I need that humbucker because
Right.
I tell people all the time, like, I mean, I love to melt the paint off the wall. So I need something
Right.
that can definitely kick up. So I don't get stepped on by, the drums or the bass player.
So let's talk about what that HSS setup looks like
Yeah,
on
so for
your
me,
guitar.
the two guitars that I have that have the HSS setup, I have Lambertones, and the reason why I went with Lambertones, I've listened to a lot of different kind of pickups, but those are the ones that like give me that warmth, but still kind of give me that glassy tone that can cut across. And but when it's time for me to kick it in overdrive, um, I can't. Nobody's like standing next to me. They're like, "Bro, you blowing everybody away." So, which is what I love because you want to have that command. I don't want to turn my amp up to where it gets dirty because playing in church and R&B, you don't want that dirt in there. So I
Right.
wanted some pickups that could definitely respond with the clarity that I had. So they give me everything that I'm looking for.
Okay. Cool beans. That's probably what the bridge pickup
Yeah,
on
definitely. The
the
humbuckers in the
humbuckers.
bridge.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and the two single coils are like in the neck in the middle. I mean, it just gives me such warm tones. Like, people talk about it all the time. Like, man, your sound, your tone, but it has a lot, it's definitely in your hands, but it has a lot to do with your equipment.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I think we were talking about that with Terrence Young. A
Yeah.
lot of guys are buying all these amps and pedals, searching for tone. And it was Jubu behind, backstage, man. He was like, "No, man, tone is right here. If you don't
It's in
have it
your
right
hand, man.
here, you can buy all
Listen.
the boxes you want."
Definitely, that's true. I mean, I've had some very inexpensive guitars, and like inexpensive gear. Like I remember when I first started out, I was playing like the Boss ME50, and Cass was like laughing at me because I ain't had no whole bunch of stomp boxes. And I'm like, man, that's all I got. Get on stage, I strap up, I start playing. They be like, bro, how are you? Where'd you
Right.
get that tone from? I'm like,
Right.
man, like you got you know your equipment. I don't have to spend all that money. I wasn't one of those guys who's like spending like $6,000 for a guitar, $50,000 for an amp. I was like, bro, just give me basic little amp. I'll make it do what it do. Because that's how you do it at church. You go visit somebody else's church, they ain't got the best equipment and be like, bro, that's all you got today. You got to make it do what it do. You know what I'm saying?
Jubu plays out a bass amp sometimes.
Yeah.
And when you watch him, you're going, "Well, how are you pulling that off?" Like, I'd have never considered it.
Yep.
But when you got the right tone and you know your configuration, you've been touring for a while, and
Yeah.
a lot of times you don't get much time to hit the stage and to go full throttle.
At
So you
all.
got to
No.
know your settings, you got
Yep.
to know your amp, all that crap is important, man.
Exactly.
So, do you have a favorite amp you tour with?
So
Mine is like a Fender Twin all day. As long as you had that on the stage, I'm cool.
I got you. So the last tour that I was doing, I don't know if you guys can see it in the background. There's a long star. I'm not a long star, but a bad cat. So if you see that bad cat,
Okay. Yeah.
so that configuration was like my favorite one for like that I had for a long time. Now, usually for my riders, what I'll normally do is I'll request two Mesa Boogie Long Stars. If they don't have that, then the Fender DeVille is like my go-to because I know it doesn't matter where I'm at, the Fender DeVille is going to give me what I need. I like twins, but the thing is, if you don't get the right one and they get beat up, it's just really hard to get what you
Yes,
want
sir.
out of a twin. But a DeVille, it don't matter, man. It can, it's like a tank, you know what I'm saying? You can
Yes,
beat it
sir.
up and it's still gonna give you what you need to get. So those are like
I,
my favorite amp configurations.
I played a DeVille one time by accident. It's at some like white church man one time, and I went in to do this like Christmas thing with a couple of my friends,
Yeah,
and it was so responsive.
that's what
I
I'm
kept
saying.
looking back going, "What is this amp?"
Yeah. People sleep on it, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I first saw the DeVille, I was like, man, I don't want that big old thing, man. I don't
Right,
want that.
right.
Like, give me that twin, man. Because I was so used to playing twins. And then I had like a couple bad experiences because backline was like the twins were like they fell off somebody's pickup truck. And I was like, man, I was trying to put it together. It just wasn't sounding right. Another gig, same thing. So somebody was like, all we got is a DeVille, man. So I was like, well, give me the DeVille. I started
Yes, sir.
playing. I was like, bro, I've been sleeping on these DeVilles, man. Like, what? And so then I started putting that on backline when they didn't have the Mesa Boogie. So then I started, that kind of became like my primary go-to, like, for different like spot off dates or whatever. I'd be like, yo, just, if you got a Fender DeVille, I'm straight.
Cool beans. So I know pedal boards are almost taboo to kind of talk about because guys don't want you to know how they're chaining their boards, what they're using. But what's your go-to pedal? If you're ready to kill and you're ready to go in, what is your go-to pedal? What's that setup look like?
All right, so like it just depends. So like if it's a fly date, I'm trying to fly light so I don't have to worry about carrying a whole bunch of stuff.
Right,
So I will use, if you probably seen it, like the Mesa Boogie Helix. I'm not sorry, not Mesa Boogie Helix, the Line 6 Helix.
right,
Um, I use that all the time for like fly days and then for definite tours. The reason why I like the Helix is essentially you can have as many pedal boards in one setup as you want. And that's
right.
why I love the Helix. When I'm doing my studio setup, I like to use the Boss ME80. It gives me the perfect tone, overdrives, anything I need
Ew,
for records. That's what I use it for. That's my like my studio setup.
really?
Yeah, like the Boss ME80. People sleep on it, but like how I found it was I had one guy subbing for me when he was out with Derulo, and that's what he brought. And I was like, bro, you probably might need something a little heavier than that. He was like, nah, man, that's all I need. And he played the gig and I listened to the playback and I was like, man, I've been sleeping on this. So he showed me like all you need is the Boss ME80 because they got really good overdrives, they got really good delays and everything, whatever. So that's what I use for my home studio setup. Now, if I'm going on a tour and I'm in tour and I realize that I need to have stump boxes, and I got my big flagship, like my spaceship over here
Okay.
that I normally have. So it's got the Empress reverb on there. It's got the Line 6 M5 like module for all my modulations. I've got the flashback delay. I've got a Polytune tuner. I've got a Tim Pierce overdrive. Now my main overdrive when I'm soloing is going to be my Keeley D&M. That's the one I use to melt the paint off the walls. Then I have the Ultraphonic. This is for mainly for when I'm playing like Strat kind of overdrive. Then I've got the Vertex Boost, and I've got the the Keeley Ari pedal. Those are like I gotta have a drive section because what which a lot of times you playing these different artists, they want like dirt, but they want different kind of like specific dirts. So instead of me trying to like switch different pedals, I felt like it's easier if you have a drive section. So I know like if I'm playing like a Strat, I know that this is gonna give me the perfect dirt kind of sound
Right.
Strat, you know what I mean? So
And I thank God, man, that you got all this information. There's guys going, what in the world is a drive section? But he
yeah,
literally means, combining several pedals
yeah,
that brings out this sound. Like lead lines are
right.
much different than if you're playing crunch
Oh,
metal time.
exactly. That's why I said I gotta have like I have an actual lead like solo pedal. That's my DD Keenan. I know if I'm getting ready to solo, I'm stepping on that one. And what I'm saying, even like my configurations that I have on it, like the volume's a little bit more, the gain is a little bit more, the tone, like I have them all set up differently because they all do different things.
Right,
Because what I didn't understand when I first started playing, I thought like you gotta have the heavy overdrive like for the crunchy chords and they use the same
right.
one. But they were like, bro, your lead tone is horrible. And I was like, what do you mean? So that's when I realized I had to go back and kind of work on like I gotta get multiple pedals, find a way to dial in my lead tone to make sure that that's straight, but then have a pedal just for like overdrive when you got to play those power chords, so the way that you're not like stepping on the same pedal to do the same thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I dig it. And like, I don't think I played it yet. So I want you guys to hear what this guy sounds like. He plays it mostly all the time. I met him last year. I saw him last year. I didn't go over and shake his hand. I'm walking with an entourage of people. But he's highly sought after. I'm going to give y'all a clue as to who this guy really is, and we'll be right back. So you guys see why they call him Kerry. Too smooth, man. You were killing that neck, bro.
Appreciate it, man. And I just got that guitar. They just gave it to me.
Really?
Yeah, they just put it in my hand. That's the only guitar they had. So I was like, I mean, here we go.
You would have thought you had that guitar for years, man. Had it set up and everything.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
I copied you guys. He inspired me to sticker bomb one of my guitars, man. And I saw him do it, and I was like, man, I'm doing the same thing. I don't play
nice,
it
man. I look good.
Now. I need to start playing it again. I played it like one corporate gig, and everybody was like, what in the world is that? And I noticed it changed the tone of the guitar.
Yep.
So I was like, that's really cool. Yep. So anyway, that was because of Carrie. So you guys thank Carrie. Hey man, so take us through some of your favorite. Before we go there, ladies and gentlemen, he does what he calls Carrie's Camp. It is where he is literally mentoring and teaching guitar chords from an R&B perspective, sometimes gospel perspective. And I've gone through one of the 7-day trials. It is very in-depth. It is theory and ear and feel. Like he teaches a lot of stuff. If you're watching guitar players play through the neck like you just saw, sometimes you need somebody to break that down. And I told him I'm joining. Hopefully I'm doing it this weekend.
Yes, sir.
I'm coming on, man. Like, I need that in my life.
Yes, sir.
He's got that LA feel on that guitar. And so Carrie's Camp, the enrollment is open right now.
Yep.
If you go to his, give us your website and stuff.
So it's Carrie's Camp. So it's actually KerrysCamp.com. So if you go to carriescamp.com, then you'll definitely see everything that you need to see. And the great thing that I tell people about it is you could try it out for 7 days. It's like test driving your favorite car before you actually buy it, and just to see if it's really going to work for you. And the thing about Carrie's Camp, it's a community. So it's not just me showcasing what I can do. It's a community of guitarists all around the world. And what we do something where we bring other people in, like something called Carrie's Corner, where the last week we just had Sean Hinton, who plays for Mary J. Blige, who's done a lot of stuff for different people. We're going to have Jules the Wolf coming on. A lot of people don't know that Jules the Wolf, I used to give him lessons way back in the day. We're from
really?
We're both from Alabama, man. And honestly, he is the reason that I met my wife. Like, he was playing with Music Soul Child at the time. That's why I said, like, you never know, like, the degrees of separation. And my wife was going to the concert. We weren't knowing each other at the same time. And I was like, yo, can you give me a comp ticket? So he got me a comp ticket. We were sitting right beside each other and we never stopped hanging out.
Wow. And he's
So,
a
yeah.
monster in his own right.
Yeah, man. Jules, man, listen, Jules is the truth, man. And then the fact that he's playing with Bieber, like the biggest pop star in the world right now.
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah.
So Carrie's camp is happening right now.
Yeah.
Take us through. We can't keep him, you guys, all night because Carrie's camp is going on. He's doing some virtual teaching that way. And so we want to be respectful of his time. If you have a question or a comment or something you want to shout him out, man, please do so. I'll forward him anything per se after this particular broadcast so he can see, man, how much you guys appreciate him. But take us through a litany of maybe like a neck exercise to do or some of your favorite chords.
All right. So whenever I'm warming up, I like to just like do the 1 through 4, especially in C. The reason why I like to use C because C keeps me in the neck. It keeps me right in the middle of the neck of the guitar, and it allows me to have a lot more real estate in order to kind of just move around a little bit. So this is what I normally do. And it's super simple, but it's just the fact that when I'm doing that, then I want to start adding like some different hammer-ons to kind of color it up a little bit. And I like to do that change over that. Like, I got that kind of movement from Agape. Just so like you want to just kind of warm up. So it's just really just like 1 through 4. It's the simple changes you probably heard in a lot of different quartet songs. Like Spank used to do it all the time. It's just so simple, but there's so much gold around that change.
Right.
Itself where you can start walking the bass line. So there's so much gold in there that you can walk around.
Yeah, man. No, I like that whole thing.
Kind of just
that 9 sus. That's like one of the first things I saw a video from 10 years ago. You did something wrong and it ended off. I was like, oh my God. Like,
yeah, what I learned that from Kevin Wilson. What the thing that I learned from Kevin Wilson was with certain chords, you can take certain notes out. So when you do that sus, right? You drop your index finger. It just softens it up.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, I love that movement.
No, that's crazy. So do me one more favor, man. Turn it up. Derulo, they gave you a solo. Click it on, man, and just let them hear you vibe out on a lead tone. And then I'm ready.
This is one of my favorite lead tones.
Bro, I'm putting my guitar away, man.
Stop, man. Stop.
Guitar away. Well, I'm learning, bro. I'm learning. I'm coming over to Carrie's camp.
Come on, man. We're ready for you, man. Seriously. It's a community, man. So
you do masterful and teaching the neck and all that stuff, man. So I definitely want to be involved. Like you said, man, if you want to get in touch with him, it's Kerry's Camp, Kerry. YSKAMP.com or .org.
Yep. Carriescamp.com. Yep.
Carriescamp.com, man. Go there. If you saw this broadcast and you were like, hey, I want to go by, at least say, hey, I watched you on the church guitarist page or whatever, and I saw it, man. It was a great interview. Hey, man, I appreciate your time.
Man, I appreciate you for having me, man. Seriously.
I can't wait till we can jam. You know, my musical sensei, Big Mike Hart, he'll come into Sacramento.
That's my man, bro. That's my bro.
Kills me.
That's my bro, man. Listen.
Bro, you guys did like a show here at Harlow's.
Heck yeah, that's my guy. Listen, when Mike say anything, man, he need whatever, man, Mike can get it, man. That's my guy, bro. Seriously.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So he's the guy that kind of like literally like took me under his wing and was like, go learn these songs. He'll call me when he was on the road. It's like, hey, go learn Miss You Like Crazy. Yeah. You better have the right chords.
That's Mike.
We don't do this at home. We be at Guitar Center. He was like, why would you pick that chord? And I was like, now I don't know what to play no more. Like,
right, that's Mike. That's why I love him,
man. It makes me come in the hole.
How it is.
Yes, sir.
To keep you accountable.
Very straightforward.
Yep, man.
Him and DOA, Derek Allen.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm at DOA when I. Yep.
And those guys are, especially when it comes to like quartet.
Oh yeah.
Getting stuff right. Oh, yeah. They want to see what your fingers can do.
Exactly.
So I appreciate your time, man. Yes, I thank you for joining from all the way from Alabama, man. You guys do what you do. Join Carrie's camp if you can. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. And hopefully one day, man, we can get up together, man, and just jam, bro.
Oh, definitely, man. Say less. We got it, man. We'll make it happen.
All right, bro. Thank you so much, Kerry, man.
Thank you.
So, I mean, it doesn't take much, man. That's Kerry Too Smooth Marshall. Like, he's almost the king of R&B. Like, the dude he plays on. Just go to allmusic.com, look his name up, Kerry Too Smooth Marshall. You will see the list of credits goes on and on. So what we really demand, or we try to exude, is bringing you guys quality stuff. If you guys have a guitarist that you'd like to see on the show, send me a line. Drop me a line at thechurchguitarist@gmail.com, and we'll do our best to get them on the show. If there's something you want covered or you want to see their pedal boards, drop us a line. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm out. I got schoolwork and I got practice. Y'all heard how Kerry was playing. I'm out of here. I'll talk to you guys later. Can I finish playing?